announced by the Finance Minister, which it says aims at equitable tax burden and progressive spending. To discuss, we're joined by the President of the South African Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Of course, today there was a meeting of SACCI-affiliated chamber presidents from across the country. So let's speak to Vusi Khumalo, head of SACCI. Thank you for joining us post the budget speech this week. That speech has been eclipsed by claims of tension between the man who delivered it and SARS. Are you a bit dismayed about what's going on today? Because we need faith in these institutions, in Treasury and in SARS.
Thank you very much and good evening. Unfortunately, the atmosphere at SACCI is quite buoyant. It was after we walked out of the meeting that we picked up some of the stories on the radio. But it's just one of those things that do happen, and unfortunately we're not privy to the nitty-gritty of what transpired and what happened, as other than what they were picking up from the news and from the radio.
Okay, so how did that meeting go? And explain how this works. So SACCI is the South African Chamber of Commerce and Industry, the South African body, and then you have provincial, city bodies. I believe everybody came together today.
Absolutely. In the history of SACCI, this is the first time ever where all the presidents of all our affiliates, all our chamber affiliates who are based and spread all over the country, came together for the first time ever in the history of the chamber movement in the country. The main purpose of getting together is as a result of the strategic planning session that the board had about a week ago. This was to give them an opportunity to get an insight of the programs, of the processes that are going to follow in trying to canvass and mobilize the buoyancy and the change in how we contribute to the economic activity of this country.
The Finance Minister said that this economy can be transformed. Right now it's languishing. But do you believe that is possible, and what can business do?
Certainly it is possible. Whenever there is a shortcoming and whenever there is a downfall, there is a positive that comes out of that. We have seen this as an opportune moment to look at creative ways in terms of how each business, how each chamber, and how individuals within that collective can contribute towards turning the whole economic landslide around. There are a number of programs that are put in place that were precipitated by the annual convention that we had last year, where we had a number of motions that were promulgated that needs to be followed through with government.
You are looking for policy certainty as well. I understand that was discussed, how government is addressing that call from business. And Finance Minister Gordhan in his speech said, we hear the call for certainty about the direction that government is going in terms of policy. Do you agree with that? Are there signs of more certainty?
Certainly. I'd like to cite a few examples to that extent. Some of the policy issues that are of grave concern to business were found a common ground with government.
For example?
Just as recently as last week, we had a meeting which was very successful and cordial with the Minister of Labour with regards to the minimum wage. The deliberations and discussions that took place were very encouraging. The inputs that came through business, through our members and the chambers, were quite taken note of. It's a process now of measuring them and realizing some of the concerns that business has alluded to. Okay,
this is interesting because it's a nice example of where business and government is collaborating. As far as I understand, the minimum wage is happening. So what is businesses' inputs? Are you all now looking at the figures, or are you still opposed? Just explain.
We're not necessarily opposed. There are considerations that should be taken. For instance, the small medium enterprises. If it's a blanket execution of the minimum wage, there needs to be an opportunity for some of the businesses whose threshold is at a level where there will be an affordability issues.
Okay.
Therefore,
so almost exemptions for very small
absolutely, and there should be an opportunity for them to raise issues and be looked at in terms of their specific circumstances, and that should be taken care of. Because the whole idea is to build economy, to create employment, and to prolong and sustain those small medium enterprises. That was welcome, and there is a willingness together to jointly find a solution to cater for those small medium enterprises.
In finality, this budget, an economist was saying last time, we also heard that the wage bill, for example, would be cut, and then there was a settlement post the budget that was quite high. So I guess everybody's looking for implementation. Is that the stance of business? Let's start there, and then I'll throw my final question to you.
Certainly, I think one of the weaknesses in the processes and the systems is execution. We are quite strong in terms of appealing to the minister to ensure that that which we have agreed to is executed, followed through, measured, so that we can yield the results that we jointly are looking forward to.
And then my final question very quickly, what is the state of the relationship between business and government right now? We know it's had a rocky past. Just at this point.
It has increased quite a great deal.
Better.
We've just had this good meeting. We'll be having a meeting again with the Minister of Higher Education on some of the SETA-related issues, and the responses and the relationship is so cordial that we are quite confident that that will benefit the entire country.
Okay, so at least some good news today. Thank you
Absolutely,
very much.
yes.
Vusi Khumalo, President of the South African Chamber of Commerce and Industry.